Welcome to the Miss Island Girl XO channel. This is a place where I love to share different aspects of my life and all the things that I am passionate about. My name is Deandra and I'm really glad that you're watching. Today I'm creating for you a soft glam holiday makeup look. This is a soft cut crease, so we're not going to be putting too much definition into the eye. It's not going to be a structured cut crease. We just want something that's going to be soft, beautiful, and easy to match any outfit that you might want to wear. If you feel like you want to add some glitter to this look, please go ahead. I just thought that this look was fantastic as is, but feel free to take this look and make it your own. If you love this look, then we can get started and I will show you how to recreate it. If you are a tea drinker like me, girl, right now, I'm sipping on glazed lemon loaf from Tazo tea. You gotta try it. You must try. To begin this look, as with every look, we are going to start with the eyebrows and then we're going to move into setting the eyes. Right now, we are using the Got2b Ultra Glued Invisible Styling Gel as my brow pomade to keep my eyes in place, or as my brow gel. And I'm also using the Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Ebony from Anastasia Beverly Hills. If you're interested in what skincare I'm using right now before my makeup, I'm using the Simple Replenishing Rich Moisturizer. Then I went in with the Tatcha Serum Stick here. This is my favorite. The skin is clean, moisturized, hydrated, and ready. To carve out my brows, I went ahead and used my Studio Fix Fluid in NW48. Then to highlight the brow underneath my arch, I used the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. The shade that I'm using is Chestnut. After that, I mixed both of these products together and put it all over the eye so that we can get ready for the shadows that we're going to use. To set the eyes, I use the RCMA No Color Powder, which is my favorite because it leaves no color behind. So whatever it is that you're setting is going to be in its true tone. There is no added pigment from this powder, which makes it one of my favorites. To start off with the eyes, we're going to take the Soft Glam palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. We're going to use the shades Burnt Orange and Sienna, these two right here, to create a really beautiful transition shade. I'm going to use the Morphe M441 brush because it's very, very fluffy and it's going to allow me to lay my transition color onto the eye in a very soft and diffused manner without doing too much blending, of course. Okay, to get started, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start on the outer V portion of the eye, like so. I'm going to use stamping motions to really deposit the color where I want it. We're going very, very high up, close, very close, pretty much touching the brow with this transition shade. Now I'm gonna use this Sonia Kashuk blending brush. It's a really cute brush that I got from Target. I actually really, really love these brushes and they're very affordable. I'm going to take the previous two shades that I just mentioned, Burnt Orange and Sienna, and I'm going to intensify the color that we just placed. To add a little bit of intensity to the outer corner of the eye, I'm going to use two different types of browns. From the Jackie Aina collaboration with Anastasia Beverly Hills, I will be using this gorgeous brown color right here. It's called Credit. It's actually a lot darker than it's picking up on camera. And then I'm going to go with the Warrior 2 palette by Juvia's Place, and I'm going to use this brown shade here, which is called Kufuru. I'm not sure, but it's really gorgeous. So we're gonna mix these two together and we're gonna add them to the eye. The brush that I'm using to do so, this is a Real Techniques Essential Crease Brush. It's really, really beautiful, and it is a bit smaller than the last brush that we use. As we go into the different colors, you're gonna see that the brushes tend to get smaller and smaller, just so we can keep the color exactly where we want it, and we can make sure that it's a bit more intense than using a fluffier, thicker brush. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. I don't know, I hope so. We're not going to place this color as far in as we did the first transition shade. We're gonna stop maybe about right here on the eye. And now that we have our deeper shade placed on the outer corners of our eyes, if you feel like your shadow is looking a little bit harsh, it's totally fine. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back in with my Sonia Kashuk brush, the one that we used previously for our transition shade. I'm gonna pick up that color again, and I'm just gonna go around the edges of our deeper brown color just to soften everything, diffuse it, make it look very blended. This look is soft and blended, so we want to make sure that each color we lay down lays very harmoniously with the last color that we placed. And a good way to do that is just to keep going back and blend. Next step that we're going to do is to grab your concealer, your foundation, whatever shade you want to use. I will be using the shade that I used to set my eyes, and we are going to create a nice canvas for the lid color. So I am usually very fond of using like shimmer and glitter shades for the lid space, but today we are going in with a matte eyeshadow. And for me and my eyes, it seems that I always need to prime first with a bit of a base. So some sort of concealer, foundation, maybe a mixture of both, I don't know. If you like, you can use an eyeshadow primer, or you could just go in with the shade, period. You know, if it works for you, it works for you. But for me, I found that I definitely need a little bit of my foundation and concealer shade that I use to set the eye in order to make sure that my matte pigments show up and they don't crease and they just look really beautiful. This part of the look does not have to be perfect. Usually with my structured cut crease looks or structured semi-cut crease looks, I'm being very, very precise with a teeny tiny brush and making sure that my lines are straight. But this look is so much fun because I don't have to think that hard, okay? I mean, of course, we're still putting some thought into the colors and all of that, but girl, this is so much fun because you can be kind of sloppy with it and it still comes out great. So we have the space for our lid shade nice and carved out. I'm going to use some more of this RCMA no color powder and I'm going to set it. One thing I do not understand, girl, I do not understand how so many makeup artists and beautiful girls on here and guys, you know, can literally just go in straight on like wet eyeshadow primer, wet concealer, and they can just put their shades on and nothing happens. Everything comes out beautiful, it comes out gorgeous, seamless, flawless. Not me, not I, not this little black girl, no, 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 no. I've been practicing this look since yesterday, and I had to redo it quite a few times, honey, because I wanted to try, you know, I'm always trying new things, and I'm like, okay, let's see what I can do, you know, let's see if I can also go in and just slap on some shades on some wet concealer. Honey, it was so horrible. It was bad. It was really, really bad, okay? I don't even want to go there, but you know, kudos and props to those of you who can just go straight in, put matte shades, shimmer shades down, and everything just looks great. My eyes are not here for it. So I am going to set with my RCMA powder, and I am going to be secure. There is something really comforting about setting my eyes. I just feel like everything is gonna be okay, you know? All the work that I've put in to this eye look, it shan't go to naught. It shan't be for naught. Both eyes comfortably set. I am ready. I am ready for my lid shade. Today we are going to use the Tarte In Bloom palette. We're gonna go for the shade Flower Child, and we're gonna mix it a little bit with Smarty Pants. The brush that I'm using is a Wet n Wild brush. She does not have a name, okay? But she has a great purpose. And I'm gonna use this fluffy brush just to put on this lid shade in a very soft and diffused way. One tip I will say when you are using concealer over other shadows, like for instance what I just did to create the space for the eyelid color, always make sure that the concealer is dry and it's not wet. A little part right here of my eye, the concealer was still pretty wet. It wasn't all the way dried down. So you might get a little bit of creasing, but it's not bad. It's totally fine. We can totally continue with the look. I'm gonna be using the Morphe brush. This is a flat eyeshadow brush. It doesn't really have a name, but I know it's a flat eyeshadow brush. I'm gonna tap into both of those colors, and I am just going to get really close around the edges of where I want this shade to be. Okay, here we are. We are at this stage now. All of our colors, or most all of our colors, are on. We now need to just go back. We need to blend and make sure that everything looks seamless. I'm going to pick up my transition shade again from the Soft Glam palette. I'm just going to go around the edges. Let's go back in with our deeper brown shades. In order to add a bit more dimension to this look, I am going to go in between where our lid shade is and our outer corner shade, and I am going to pop in our transition color. The brush that I'm using to do this is one of the brushes that comes with the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. I'm using the flat shader side. This looks so beautiful so far. Now, to add a little bit more depth, we are going to go with the last color for this look. Still from the Soft Glam palette, I'm going to use the black shade called Noir, of course. You can use any black shade, girl, that you want. Any black eyeshadow is going to work. So I'm gonna go in with another one of these Anastasia Beverly Hills brushes, and I'm of course going to use the flat shaded side. And we are going to, just on the very, very outer edges, actually, you know what we should do? We should do liner first. that's what we're gonna do. Decided to go ahead and do my liner off camera because this takes a great deal of focus, people, okay? I really love this graduated eyeliner look. So we start off really, really thin on the inner corner and we get thicker as we go to the outer portion of the eye, and it stops. I'm not sure about you guys, but like lately, I don't feel like I really wanna do a full wing. Like a little wing like this is really all I need. It really frames the eye beautifully and adds just really, really great touch to the eyeshadow that you've already created. I feel like the smokiness from this liner is really gonna help us to add that shade a lot easier. Sometimes I notice for me, if I go right in with the black, it kind of looks a little harsh and it's just floating there and it doesn't make any sense. But because we already have this baseline of the eyeliner, it's just gonna flow really, really perfectly, and it's probably gonna require less blending. Before I move on any further, I am using the Precision Gel Liner. This is from Illamasqua. I really, 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 really love this company. I really love their gel eyeliner. It is smooth, it's creamy, it is absolutely jet black. It is one of the best gel liners that I've ever tried. And these days, really, liquid eyeliner, girl, like, I don't know, I'm just not like feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I feel like it takes a little bit too much work to make sure that it gets straight and precise. It's maybe not the most beginner friendly, but I mean, come on, like everyone loves a gel. Gel is good. Gel is your friend. I use that gel on a very, very small tipped brush. This brush does not have a name. I don't know where I got it. I mean, it says it was made in Vietnam. So this brush is from Vietnam and it's fantastic. The next step is we're going to go back to the black that we talked about before from the Soft Glam palette. I'm gonna take that black shade on a very, very precise pointed brush from Morphe, and I'm going to just start smudging out this liner. Now that we've smudged a little bit of this Noir shade on top of our gel liner, things are looking amazing. Go in with one of our Anastasia Beverly Hills brushes on the flat shader side, and we're going to pick up some Noir, and we are going to deepen the outer V. The eyes are pretty much complete. Of course, we still need to do lashes and maybe some little touch-ups here and there, you know, but pretty much the eyes are complete. I'm going to further clean up this really beautiful shape, and with a makeup wipe, I'm gonna just make sure that the eyes are just nice and snatched and beautiful, and then we are going to move on with skin. To begin with the skin portion of this makeup look, I'm gonna begin with the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. I'm also going to pair that with the Becca Velvet Blurring Primer Perfecting Base, and this is in the shade Apricot Haze. This is, so far for me, my most favorite priming method. What I like about the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer is it's really creating a wonderful and healthy barrier between my skin and the makeup. I really, really enjoy that. And then for the Becca Smoothing Blurring Primer, I put those on the areas of my face where I really want to make sure that my makeup doesn't crease. So around the mouth, around the nose, on top of the nose, and a little bit right here in between the eyebrow. For some reason, this combination just makes everything look flawless, and it helps to make my makeup just last and last and last and look really, really good. These are both e.l.f. concealers here. I have the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer in Deep Chestnut. This is going to be the lighter shade. And then I also have the Hydrating Camo Concealer in a satin finish, and this is in the shade Deep Cinnamon. apply our foundation. For contour today, let's use the Makeup Revolution Fast Base Stick Foundation in F18. I really like the process of adding my concealer, my contour, and my foundation in at the same time, because then it's super easy. I just go in with whatever brush I need, and it seems to help everything to blend really, really seamlessly. And it saves a lot of time. It saves a lot of time. So now that I have the first layer of all of my products all blended out, I just take a look and see if there is something that I want to enhance, something that needs more blending, and I reapply accordingly. So right now, these days I'm really preferring to do a reverse contour kind of technique. So I actually don't add any contour to my nose. I feel like my nose is already really small, so it just kind of gets a little too harsh. But what we will do is later on, I actually do use some contour powder. So I guess, does that count? I don't know. But as far as the cream stage goes, I don't add any cream contour to my nose. So the next step is probably just to brighten up my inner corners just a bit for a slightly brighter touch of concealer. Today we're going to use the Juvia's Place concealer in the shade 11. I'm gonna go in next with my Maybelline Fit Me Matte Poreless Pressed Powder in the shade Coconut. I have a mixture of powders here. This is the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder in Deep. This is also the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder in, I believe, Medium Deep, along with RCMA powder and the Laura Mercier Brightening Powder. So yeah. We have the Morphe Glam Bronze in the shade Leader as our bronzer today. Now let's use our MAC Pro Longwear Pressed Powder in the shade Dark Deep. Now let's go back in with our eyeshadows just to finalize the look a little bit more. I'm going to go back with the Sonia Kashuk blending brush with our original color from the softglam palette, Burnt Orange and Sienna. To finish off the eyes, I'm going to go right below here in the under eye area and use one of these Real Techniques smudge brushes, really, really small. I'm just gonna take Orange Soda and Sienna, which of course were the transition shades that we used earlier. I'm just gonna run that underneath the eye. Just on the outer corner portion, I'm just gonna take a touch, a little dab of the black that we used, just right there. For blush today, I decided to use two of my favorite palettes. The first one is gonna be the Saharan Blush Palette Volume 1 by Juvia's Place. I went into it for this really beautiful orange shade right here, Taubey. I love this because I like to use a orange shade to go slightly over my bronzer in the contour area, because I feel like it really, really enhances my personal makeup, because I know that I have slight orange tones warmer tones in my skin. So whenever I like add an orange to my contour or to my bronzer, everything just looks more beautiful. I just look more blended. Everything just works together, and I think it's because it complements my skin tone so much. That is a really good idea if you're looking for some tips with blush. Try to figure out what your undertone is. If you have like a pinkier undertone, if you have like an orangey, warm kind of, you know, undertone, if you have a cooler undertone, try to take a color that matches your undertone and add it into slightly on top of your bronzer or your contour, and tell me how that works out for you, because it's really good for me. I can also use reddish oranges, but as of right now, I'm just going in straight with the plain orange. Now, this shade is called Tau, and this shade is like a peachy pink or peachy kind of coral color, and I really like this, so I actually put this in all the areas where I like my blush to be, which is on the high points of the face, and also into the hairline a little bit and around the brow. That's where I like to place my blush. I love my blush being super high. I feel like it just pulls your face upwards, and that's a look that I really, really like. Next, for highlight, I am using my favorite duo. I've been using both of these highlighters for a very long time because, I mean, it's just so good that it's just so good that it's just so good. I have both the MAC Gold Deposit highlighter here. I've had this for years on years. And then we also have the Anastasia Beverly Hills and Amrezy collection, so the Amrezy highlighter. So I just mixed both of those together and I use them to highlight the center of my nose, underneath my chin, and right underneath the brow bone for an extra like lift to the brow. Next, we're gonna move on to lashes. For lashes today, I know that these lashes that I'm wearing are from Salon Perfect. If they're the 615s or the 614s, I cannot exactly remember, but of course I will leave all relevant information down in the description box for you, so the exact name of these lashes will be there. Now, before I put my lashes on, I usually will curl them with my eyelash curler that I have from Tarte. The mascara that I'm using today is the Man Eater mascara from Tarte. This is pretty good. And then before I actually add on my lashes, I will go ahead with some black eyeshadow and just pat it along the lash line and all along the lash, just so it looks more dramatic, ties the look together, and you really can't see if there's a separation between my lash and the false eyelashes. Okay, so now we are moving on to lips. This is another favorite of mine throughout the entire makeup process. I love doing lips. We are gonna keep it very simple today. We're not gonna do like a super crazy recipe. I'm just gonna start off with the LA Colors eyeliner and eyebrow pencil in very black, and I'm gonna use that to line my lips. Now, if you feel like just using a straight up black eyeliner is a little too harsh for you, girl, I understand. Do you use whatever color you like, but for me, for some reason, I'm so into it. Next step is I'm gonna try out this technique that I've been seeing on like a few other YouTube channels. They've been using concealer as their actual main lip color, and then they add a gloss over top. So I was really intrigued when I saw it, and I was like, okay, I really want to see, is this gonna work for me? Is this gonna be like my new jam? Like, you know, it seems really easy. So we're gonna use this one. And you know, it seems like a really good idea because it's your concealer shade, so it would always be a perfect color for you. So it would take a lot of the guesswork out as far as like always being on the search for the perfect nude or trying to figure out what nude would work for you. Just use your concealer. That's probably the perfect nude for you, right? Today I will be using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Deep. Wow. Okay, so far I'm kind of like 50-50 on it. Like I might keep it, but then I also might just switch it out. Wow, okay. I'm not really feeling this. I'm not feeling this at all, but I'm gonna just keep going all the way to give it a fair shot. So I'm gonna add the last piece, which is a gloss, and it's supposed to be amazing. But right now it's not looking so amazing, but you know. I'm gonna go in with just a clear lip gloss from NYX. This is their Filler Instinct Plumping Lip Gloss, and I'm just gonna apply it on top and see if I like it. I don't like it. No. That's gonna be a no for me, dog. No.
Randy? It's a no for me, dog.
Okay, so I'm gonna remove this and I'm just gonna go with like one of my usual lip combos and I'll be back. Okay, now these lips I love. I think this just looks absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous. For my lips, I first went in with the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Liquid Lipstick in this is shade 70% Yum. This is a really, really, really gorgeous, rich chocolate brown color. On top of that, I'm wearing the Stay Matte Liquid Lip Color from Rimmel London, and this is in the shade Plunge. To finish everything off, I'm gonna use my Milani Stay Matte mattifying setting spray. Okay, everyone, that is it for today's Soft Glam holiday makeup look featuring a soft cut crease. I had a lot of fun filming this video. It is literally right now like 6 a.m., but that is fine. I am definitely a night owl, you know. I hope that you learned something. And if you feel like you want to recreate this look for the holidays or for whenever, anytime, any occasion, please feel free to tag me in your look. Leave a comment down below if you have something that you really want to say. Anyway, I will see you in my next video. I love you. Bye.